Would a representative from Global and Overland please contact Airport Aviation? A representative from Global and Overland to Airport Aviation.
Dance all night, don't stop the music. I can't refuse it. And the world around us won't stop turning tonight. I'm losing control right now, and I feel it's right. We're caught in this moment. I won't let you go. And the world around us won't stop turning tonight.
Welcome to New York, the greatest city in the world. They call this the city that never sleeps because it never does sleep. It's open every day, every night, all night long. It's one nation from different countries. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what race or religion or where you're from. Everyone has the same opportunity for success in this city. Let me tell you about an ordinary day in New York City. Apart from the people rushing back and forth from work and going on the subways and the taxis and the planes coming in and the trains coming in, they go to the parks, they go to museums, they go to the theater. No one is bored in New York City. There's too much energy and too much movement in the streets. It's impossible to be bored here. If you're bored, there's something wrong with you. Rockefeller Center is a large complex in Midtown Manhattan between 48th Street and 51st Street. Every Christmas, the big tree goes up, and it is one of the most popular sights in the United States. This tree is probably the most famous Christmas tree in the United States, and hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people come to New York City every December to go shopping and to go to Rockefeller Center to see the famous tree. Rockefeller Center has 70 floors. It is 850 feet high, and at the very top there's an observatory called the Top of the Rock. This dark tower is called Trump Tower. It is the original home of Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. If you ask any New Yorker what their favorite building is, I'm going to guess that 9 out of 10 of them will say the Empire State Building. It is the symbol of New York City and the symbol of New York State. It was begun in 1930, and 1 year later in 1931, it was finished. It is 102 stories tall. It was the tallest building in the world for a long time. Now it's the 5th tallest in the United States and the 28th tallest in the world. If you do not know what the Empire State Building is, or if you've never heard of it, watch the movie King Kong, and then you will know what the Empire State Building is. The Brooklyn Bridge was the first bridge across the East River connecting Manhattan and Brooklyn. It was also the first steel cable suspension bridge in the world. It was begun in 1869 and completed 14 years later in 1883. It's probably the most famous bridge in the United States, except maybe for the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. But we like the Brooklyn Bridge a lot better. Ellis Island is in the New York Harbor, and it was the gateway to the United States for over 12 million immigrants. If you have any family members in the United States who came here in the early 20th century or the late 19th century, the chances are very good they first came through Ellis Island. It was the first stop when they got off the boat.
But those were the reasons, and that was New York. We were running for the money and the flash.
This is the world-famous Statue of Liberty. I'm going to guess that every single person watching this video knows exactly what this statue is. It was a gift to the United States from the country of France, and it was put up in 1875. So for over 100 years, this has been the symbol of immigration to the United States. And in fact, this is often the very first thing new immigrants to the United States saw when they sailed into New York Harbor.
I remember you well in the Chelsea Hotel. That's all. I don't even think of you that often.
This is the Natural History Museum, the largest natural history museum in the United States. It was founded by President Theodore Roosevelt, and it houses one of the greatest collections of dinosaurs, minerals, animals, anything you can imagine you can find here. We have a brand new planetarium that shows the wonders of space and the planets to every visitor who arrives. This is a surprising find to a lot of visitors to New York City. In fact, most people don't know about it. And it is a collection of the original works of Charles Dickens. And when I say the original, I mean the actual pages that Charles Dickens wrote when he wrote The Christmas Carol. It is the original manuscript, housed in New York City, and it comes out every December.
If you were the Mona Lisa, you'd be hanging in the Louvre.
The Metropolitan Museum of Art is the largest art museum in the Western Hemisphere, and it's one of the most important museums too, right up there with the Louvre. It houses hundreds of thousands of artworks worth billions of dollars, ranging from ancient Greek, Egyptian statues, an entire Egyptian temple, right up through the story of painting into the 20th century.
Cause into white. An impressionistic painting, tiny particles of light. It seems to me that's what you like. The look, but please don't touch me tight. And honestly, it can't be fun to always be the chosen one. And I'm right by your side, like a thief in the night. I stand in front of a masterpiece, and I can't tell you why it hurts so much to be in love with a masterpiece. 'Cause after all, nothing's indestructible. Nothing's indestructible. Nothing's indestructible. Nothing's indestructible. And I'm right by your side, like a thief in the night. Stand in front of the masterpiece, and I can't tell you why it hurts so much to be in love with a masterpiece. And I'm right by your side, like a thief in the night. I stand in front of the masterpiece, and I can't tell you why it hurts so much to be in love with a masterpiece. 'Cause after all, nothing's indestructible. 'Cause after all, nothing's indestructible.
This is Times Square. It's the center of New York City and got its name originally from the New York Times newspaper that had its headquarters right here, where 7th Avenue meets Broadway. All the theaters are located here, many restaurants, and thousands of lights. On New Year's Eve, this becomes one of the most famous places on earth, as over 1 million people come to Times Square to watch the ball drop at the stroke of midnight.
New York City boy, where 7th Avenue meets Broadway.
Evil on your mind, it pays you back in kind. I am the judge, you've crossed the line.
Wall Street is an 8-block-long street running roughly northwest to southeast from Broadway to South Street in the Lower East Side. The financial world of the United States has taken Wall Street as its name. If people say Wall Street, they're talking about finances. There's also the symbol of Wall Street, which is a bull, which means there's a bull market or you're bullish. It means there's strong financial future ahead of you. This is a game with the NBA in Madison Square Garden. Today it was the Knicks versus Orlando. This is one of the most famous stadiums in the United States. The Dream Team, basketball team, everybody came through this stadium at one point or another. This is St. Patrick's Cathedral, the heart of Catholic United States. It was built with donations from poor Irish immigrants in the 19th century, and it became a symbol of the growing power of the Irish in the United States. This is the 9/11 Memorial at Ground Zero at what used to be the World Trade Center. For years, two buildings stood in this place until the morning of September 11th, 2001, when two airplanes smashed into the sides of them and took the lives of 3,000 people in one beautiful, blue, bright September morning. This is the jewel in the heart of New York City, and it's called Central Park. It is a green wonderland built in the middle of the city with no buildings, no construction, built on 843 acres. While they were building New York City in about 1857, the city planners decided to build a place where the workers and the local people could go into the fresh air and into the forest and into the sunshine. It is one of the greatest places in the city, and every year about 40 million people visit.
Big dreams all looking pretty. No place in the world that can compare. Put your lighters in the air, everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. These streets will make you feel brand new. Big lights will inspire you. Hear it for New
And here's a few last thoughts about New York City. It's not the biggest city in the world, but it's the biggest city in the United States. It has almost 9 million people living in it, and it is the city that never sleeps, and that is true. It's made up of 5 separate boroughs: Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Staten Island. New York City is not the capital of New York State. The capital is called Albany, and it's a lot smaller.
It's up to you, New York, New York, New York.
I hope everybody watching this video comes to visit me in this great city, the greatest city in the world, New York City.
Get into the boat. No! We've been together for 40 years. And where you go, I go. Don't argue with me, Isidore. You know it does no good.
I would tell you. Now, I hope everybody watching this video
Sorry.
I hope I hope everybody.
Is it not how to look?
No, because if I look at you, I laugh.
Okay, let's go.
I hope everybody watching this video comes to visit me in New York City.
Yeah.